What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this month's King of Games video. As promised, I'm bringing you another Synchro deck. Had a busy month of late, so I haven't gotten a chance to actually post this earlier. It did take me a while to figure out what I was going to do, but the initial plan was to try and showcase the same deck that I used in the most recent Meta Weekly 73. But I decided to make some changes and try something a tiny bit different, and this is pretty much the same deck without quick draw synchron. So we're just gonna call this like a turbo synchro deck. I just mess around and say psychic chicken synchro, but basically no quick draw synchron. It's all about turboing out level 6 and using a Neo Space connector and Aqua Dolphin as like an engine. The Meta Weekly 73 replays I posted on my channel showcase a bit more of the old version of this deck, and you can also see some of the other Neo Space connector combos, but you'll see some of them here as well. So this actually took me a couple days to actually make this King of Games. The ladder is pretty random right now, so I didn't really have the best opposition. Like one bad hand or a treacherous could pretty much screw me over in certain cases, but basically Cock-a-Doodle-Doo is one of the newest cards that we got on the Blazing Rose box, and it supports the deck a lot, and we also finally have access to Black Rose. So this deck is pretty much utilizing those new cards from that box and just making the deck better than it ever could be. So Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, special summon him when there's no monsters on the on your side of the field, and then his level changes depending on what your opponent has. Also, we got Vermilion Dragon Mech, as you see here, and he's pretty clutch too. I did not use him in Meta Weekly, but any deck that can pump out a level 9 synchro, I recommend Vermilion because he is just too good right now. I think he's like a sleeper card that I did not even think about. The set of duels you'll see here for the King of Games run I like because I go first a lot in these duels, and going first with this deck is probably the hardest thing ever. This deck runs little to almost no protection aside from the 2 shooting star traps and 1 sphere Karibo. So going first is pretty risky depending on what kind of deck you face, but going second is also good. So here you're going to see the Neo Space connector and Aqua Dolphin in action. Aqua Dolphin can discard a card and then pop a monster in your opponent's hand as long as you have a monster on your field with more attack or equal. So the crazy combo here is that once you synchro with Dolphin, you can revive him with Connector and then do it again. So as you can see here, your opponent pretty much doesn't even get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I pretty much killed all his playable cards. The initial reasoning behind this engine, which I can't take credit for, but I finally decided to experiment with it. The initial reasoning was because everyone is running 3 sphere Karibos, and that hurts this deck a lot. If you can't get lethal and your opponent has a way to like clear your board, you're screwed. Like our top deck sucks, we don't have much recovery, so having Aqua Dolphin discard all those sphere Karibos off the opponent's hand was pretty nice. The other reason that Aqua Dolphin came in handy, especially during Meta Weekly 73 for me, was that even if you don't discard something out your opponent's hand, you can at least see what play they're gonna make. You can see what their back row is next turn, so it's a pretty useful engine. I play 3 connectors. You can definitely get away with 2, but I prefer 3 just to see it as soon as possible. Aqua Dolphin, you only want to run 1, and as you've noticed, drawing it sucks. Getting it out of the deck with connector is the most preferred method, but once again, you're going to see Aqua Dolphin do his revive play. Sometimes I do try to be careful with what I discard, because you do have to keep in mind like what the next turn is going to be like. So that's the conflict with Quick Draw Synchron and Dolphin. You're going to be discarding your entire hand, so you just got to think about your plays carefully. Now, this was a pretty random deck I ran into. I haven't seen this anti-trap deck in like months, but I'm forced to play carefully here because I know he has a mirror wall. Thankfully I saw it with Dolphin, so I don't want to swing in and lose my monster. The good thing about this deck that I'm facing is that they need their equip spells to actually start getting rolling. But I'm just gonna play it patient here and just wait it out. He doesn't have the Eclipse spell, so I'm just gonna wait until I can get a Black Rose play going on. So he doesn't even think about that Black Rose is possible here. He's just filling up his board left and right. But I'm gonna search Wheel just in case I can make Vermilion. But then I draw Shooting Star, and I remember in the moment when I was playing this duel that I was like, wait, let me hold off on Vermilion and let Shooting Star be useful. Now, I don't know he has Canadia face down. I'm thinking it's Mirror Wall and like Solemn or something. But he finally gets the Eclipse Spell Power to Guardians, and I hold off. But then he flips Canadia up. He should have flipped it up in the end phase. Thanks to him waiting on that, I could still activate Shooting Star and pop his back row. I could have popped Power to Guardians, but his monster's gonna get over mine regardless, so I left it alone. Big point here is that I have a Black Rose play finally. Now that Cock-a-Doodle-Doo can be special summon, I just need a non-tuner. Boom, right there. So Black Rose is just gonna nuke his entire field. His deck runs maybe 6 monsters, if I remember correctly. I did look at his deck, but he has some Sphere Karibos in there. Once you destroy most of the monsters in this type of deck, they can't really recover, and he doesn't really have much of a hand, so we're gonna take this win. It was actually pretty fun to actually face a different deck that we haven't seen in a while, but the other good thing about Black Rose Dragon is that Cock-a-Doodle-Doo can be special summoned again right after you nuke the field, so you're not left completely defenseless. You can still make plays afterwards. I think I missed lethal here. Someone told me. I couldn't remember, but I think I was trying to get greedy for another play, but it doesn't matter. He scoops it up. He realized that he can't come back against the board. Shooting Star was one of the new additions I wanted to try now that Six Samurai has like declined in usage. So it did work out well in a lot of duels that I was streaming that night. It's easily replaceable by Treacherous if you want to go that route, but Shooting Star has the added effect of hitting back row instead of just monsters, so that's one of the reasons why I kept that instead of Treacherous. Stardust Charge is going to be one of your most popular turn 1 plays, so having Shooting Star and Stardust Charge is one of the best scenarios you could walk into. If your opponent sets back row and you're more worried about the back row than the monster, then you could go for that. Or you could just go for the monster if you feel comfortable that you have lethal next turn. Another going first duel, like I said, Charge Warrior, Sangan, I can search Sphere Karibo. And based on my hand, I have a pretty good hand. But he is playing a pure Synchron anime Yusei deck, so congrats to him, because like I tried that and unfortunately it can't work, but he does run his level 9 synchro, so he's gonna synchro my Charge Warrior, which I kept screaming at him not to do. So I didn't want to underestimate this deck because it does get pretty nutty, but I do get a little greedy here and I don't use Sphere Karibo, so I have another play afterwards. I'm definitely gonna regret not using this Sphere Karibo though, because later on after this next turn you're gonna see why, but I wanted to save the Sphere Karibo in my hand just in case Dolphin was gonna be live, but he has no cards in his hand, so Dolphin is pretty much useless right now. I'm gonna Black Rose the field, seeing as how I don't have a monster that can get over Vermilion well enough, so I also have Gilosaurus in the hand, so that Gilosaurus combo with Sealed Tombs is still popular. I popped the skill, Special Summon Gilosaurus. He can't revive anything from the graveyard. Having a special summonable level 3 like that for additional synchro plays or an extra push for lethal is still too good, so Gilosaurus is at 2 in this deck, but having him at 3 is still just as good. Now, he's in a tight spot right now, and I don't have a tuner, so I can't really make a monster that's big enough to like push for lethal, but what I failed to realize is that if he top decked the Junk Synchron, he can revive Synchron Explorer and go into Armades if he has it, and then he has lethal. So like I said before, I should have used that Sphere Karibo. Luckily, he doesn't get the junk synchron, so we do get that win, but that was a pretty risky chance we took. So we're finally on to the 5th duel, the King of Games rank up match. Now, this duel I was worried about the most because obviously Konami's going to do everything in their power just to screw me over. I had 3 failed attempts, which is new to me. It usually doesn't take me that long, but I kept opening all tuners or all non-tuners. So as you see here, I opened all non-tuners, which didn't do much for me. So the only thing I can do right now is set Sangan, and I do set Shooting Star just in case I do get a synchro play and I can use it next turn. So of course we're playing Cyberdark Neos, which has been pretty popular on the tier list lately, but he doesn't have Neos Fusion, so we're somehow saved. Unfortunately, our Sangan's still on the field, so we can't get that search until now. So without Quick Draw Synchron, Sangan's use is a little questionable right now. The main combo with Sangan and Quick Draw Synchron was that you could still special summon him after searching him. So right now the only thing we can search with Sangan is Gilosaurus that we can still summon. Besides that, we would have to search something and then wait until next turn to use it. So I didn't know what to make in this play because I don't know what he has in his hand, and I have to factor in Bacon being in the graveyard. Do I want to seal Tombs now? But no matter what, I'm going to go into Charge Warrior just to get an extra card in the hand and a search. So I take a risk here and I go for lethal just like this. Like, I'm going to flood my board with regular monsters and then just go for it. Is it the win I was expecting to get? No, but we got it. So that's the King of Games. So we're finally up to the deck. As I said before, it's pretty much the same deck except I replaced Quick Draw Synchrons with Shooting Stars. I like this deck because it's a little cheaper than the usual deck, so if for some reason you don't have Quick Draw Synchrons and you want to like focus on this, maybe cut a couple Sangans, this will work just as good. I barely went into Stardust, but it did come in handy against Ancient Gears and Yubels earlier on in the stream. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next month with the new King Games video, and hopefully I top place in some more tournaments.